Hey everyone, it's Matt aka Tech Ranger, and today we'll be taking a look at Starfield for the Xbox, my first load order for the game. It's a culmination of the mod videos that I've already made here on the channel, and a showcase of 3 mods that are pretty small but make some big changes to my list. The goal for me was to improve the vanilla game, add some cool armors, weapons, and things like that, but then also just improve what's already there. At the end of the video, we're going to have the list itself in game, and then there'll also be a spreadsheet down in the description if you guys want to take a look at the mods themselves. Now, one warning before we get into this video is that this is my list and it might not necessarily work as well for you as it does for me, so read mod descriptions and install mods at your own risk. And if you have any questions about any particular mods in my list, you can leave a comment down below and leave a like down there if you enjoyed the video or got some value out of it. But that's enough of that. Let's look at my first load order for Starfield on the Xbox. There's a lot of black and white icons in Starfield, and everything can kind of mix together. I get that it's an aesthetic choice, however, it makes things a little bit hard to see sometimes. But this first mod aims to change that, and I think it does a pretty good job. And that is thanks to the slightly better map icons, which is kind of a godsend. You'll be able to pick out your ship itself, as well as any icons you might see on the planet view. And on that note, when you're looking at the new surface map, you can see colored icons to see what is what without actually having to hover over it. And it's a great touch, but for drink places like the Viewport in New Atlantis, you can see this little Nuka-Cola icon. Pretty funny for those of us who have played Fallout 4. I wasn't expecting that one. Another thing to note here is on those surface maps, you'll see these little red icons, and those are for actual missions. The yellow hexagon will denote something that you actually currently have selected. I can really appreciate the colors that this mod adds to the icons, but then also just these special icons themselves. And this is also going to translate to actually being on planets as well. You're going to see those colored icons in your compass. If you've been watching my mod videos for Starfield before this, you've probably picked up on this already. On the galaxy map, you'll be able to see which cities you can go and land in. There's an icon for that already in the game, but coloring it to yellow is very helpful when you're zooming out. Same thing for any outposts you own. There is a different icon for that already in the game, but in this case it's changed to orange to help differentiate from the other icon for the city. So I'm curious to know your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. If you know me and the mods I've looked at in the past, I like the Pip-Boy dual colors over on Fallout 4 because it adds some color to the UI. So being able to bring some color to the icons in Starfield is pretty nice. So PraxisUI is another one of those mods that'll be tough to part with when you jump back to an unmodded save. So PraxisUI keeps the basic vanilla UI and then just kind of expands upon it. There's a lot of nice quality of life features as far as the inventory goes in this mod, like showing the weight over the course of the categories and then the digipicks in the bottom of the screen at all times. Now, since digipicks before were in a different category, these are actually moved to the all category. So if you're trying to buy them off of vendor, you're going to have to go to the all category to buy them and then just scroll down to D. It should be pretty easy with the list, but just in case you can't find those. And this is because the aid category has been split into consumables and aids. So things like ship parts you can consume, so they're in the consumables category, as in an item that you can use. In the aid category, that will be anything medical, like med kits and things that cure afflictions. I really like the way things display here in a list view. For example, the notes category, very helpful to see everything out like that. The same goes for your equipment as well, and then if you need to see the weapon or armor or whatever it is up close, you can just hit the right stick button and then that will hide the UI like in the original UI. So that kind of makes up for some of the menus actually blocking the items that you're looking at. You also see a bit more when you actually go to a vendor and buy or sell things. So on the bottom you'll be able to see everybody's credits as well as your inventory weight and your ship weight, which is helpful when you go on a buying spree. Now, probably not at this vendor, but just wanted to show it. Last thing I want to mention is that this mod is still being worked on, so this is not the final form, and you can go over to the Nexus page and see some of the updates that are being made, as well as any issues that people might be having or suggestions. I didn't have a lot of problems with the original UI in the game, and I think that mainly comes down to the presentation of it, because we still were looking at lists, but here it just kind of expands everything, and it looks really good. Royal Weathers is a mod that was on PC but got ported over to Creations and then has a Lite version, which adds more variety to the weathers in the game across all the different planets. There are some new weathers, so like if you go to a volcanic area on Earth, you'll see this really cool volcanic weather, but the name of the game here is Variety. Variety is the spice of life, well, Starfield life. You'll see more weathers in more places, which will spice things up a little bit, and then if you want to get fancy, you can even add something like this cloud texture mod that I have in my list that'll make the clouds just pop out a little bit more when there is some weather around. Pair this with something like the color filter removal, which all the footage you've seen in this video so far has been with that on, and the weathers just stand out a little bit more, adding a little bit more immersion to the game. Now keep in mind with this mod that there are going to be planets that there just won't be any weather. I'm actually not sure if there even is weather at Paradiso, but there aren't going to be new weathers added to locations that didn't previously have weather. Let me know what you think about this one. I like it because it's lightweight and then it adds more variety, which I'm all for. A few last notes about my load order. So I use a few replacers as well as some user interface mods. So things like the replacer for the Maelstrom, the MG4, as well as the AK replacer that we looked at in the weapon mods video. Things like that, but then also the user interface mods and the color filter removal. You're going to want to close out of your game after you install things like this because it's probably not going to activate when you go right in from the menu. You should be doing this anyway when you install mods, but just wanted to mention it again just in case you're not aware and if you're like, hey, why is this not working? And that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed doing these load order videos just because I can do a little bit of a regular mod video and then just kind of show like what my game looks like so far. And then stay tuned if you guys want to see the mod list in game, and then I'll just have that kind of play out with some music. And then don't forget to check out the spreadsheet down in the description if you guys want to see everything with the links. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.